One little country store in Cassaday will be our only option for services between Newton and Eureka. This stretch will see the most climbing since leaving Salida, Colorado. There are no mountains here, but an abundance of river valleys in eastern Kansas that you can see carved into the map. Those account for the elevation changes and our biggest day of climbing in 9 days. Good morning, it's day 37, Friday, June 21st. And we are setting off at 5:15 a.m. out of Newton on route to Eureka. A 74-mile day today. We had an excellent warm showers host in a big, beautiful Victorian home just a couple blocks off Main Street. And they fed us a nice dinner of spaghetti last night and a breakfast of cereal this morning. And they took us in their van all around Newton and North Newton last night. And we saw the college, the Newton College, or Bethel College it's called. And I don't know, a lot of the buildings and churches in town. It was pretty special getting a tour by, railroad crossing, by locals, and really enjoyed that. And they had a dog named Enzo who came and joined me in my bed last night. That was kind of nice because Sherlock sleeps in our bed at home. So I kind of liked having a dog in bed with me for a little bit last night. We are deviating slightly from the Transamerica Trail today. Our hosts said that the planned Transamerica Trail to Eureka would have no services. There's a couple businesses in Google Maps, and I forget the name of the town, but when I looked them up again, they both said permanently closed. So they said you wouldn't have any water for 74 miles. So we are deviating and going through a town called El Dorado, not El Dorado, pronounced El Dorado, they told me. And they have a number of restaurants and convenience stores, so we don't need to carry all of our water load for the day. I wear my sunglasses at night. Well, it's because it's raining, and we're riding due south into a wind from the south, so these tiny little raindrops are pelting my eyeballs. But thankfully these sunglasses adjust depending on the amount of UV rays, so they're pretty light when not in the sun. Photochromic, that's the word. It's hard to think and cycle at the same time. We are enjoying an epic, fiery sunrise. I try to make small talk and connections with people, whether it's our hosts or people at a convenience store or something, when I'm chatting with them. And going through Kansas here, I'm quick to say, hey, I spent a few years of my childhood in Kansas. And their eyes light up. Oh, really? Where? And when I tell them Overland Park, it's just a look of sheer disappointment on their face. I don't think that Overland Park in Kansas City is respected as Kansas by proper Kansans who live everywhere else. It's like if you told a Virginian that you lived in Virginia, and they said where, and you said like McLean or Arlington or something, they'd get that same look of disappointment. That's not Virginia, that's Northern Virginia. Ideal rumble strip placement. All these Kansas towns have a motto. We're riding through Whitewater right now, and their motto is a little town with a big heart. Oh, Whitewater, you stole my heart. Anybody who says cycle touring saves money because you don't need to buy gasoline is not factoring in the fact that the food and calories it takes to keep the human body going is actually more expensive than the fuel. I calculated it a few weeks back, like, how much am I spending on food? All right, how much would it cost a car that's, I don't know, a 30 mile per gallon car to go the same distance I was going? And the food was more expensive than the fuel. Just my bike thought of the morning. Brahms was the ice cream shop we went to in Newton yesterday. And I believe our hosts said in El Dorado there is also a Brahms. I'm going to look that up on my phone right now, because that might be a halfway stop for us. Good news, there is in fact a Brahms in El Dorado, 15 miles away from where I currently ride. Yes, we will be stopping there. I saw their menu yesterday. We were there in the afternoon, but they had breakfast sandwiches and stuff. It'll still be breakfast time by the time we get there. That doesn't mean I can't also have a milkshake. We're gonna stop at the side of the road. Take a break from the rumble strips. Paul's done. He bought his plane ticket home. He says no more of this. Potwin, Kansas. Their motto, according to their sign, is a place to call home. Not the most inventive town motto. Just ride on the shoulder. The shoulder's for bicycles, the road's for cars. If this is not the highest point in Kansas, it's got to be close. This is the first time in Kansas I've seen a cut in the hill. You can see that on either side, where they smoothed out the top of this hill. And I think this is going to mark then the beginning of our descent into Eureka. How fun. Wow, an actual, like, kind of summit here in Kansas. Looking down at a view. All right. Our Warm Showers host last night had an interesting insight about the Transamerica Trail. So it was created in 1976 to celebrate America's bicentennial, right? I knew that, but I mean, that's 50 years ago. And a lot of the small towns that are dead now existed and were vibrant back then. So a lot of these towns we go through that have nothing, not even a convenience store, no restaurant, no hotels. Back when it was created, it might have had all of that. And so maybe it's time for the Adventure Cycling Association to reroute that a bit through some of the bigger towns that still exist. Like today, I do think the smarter route was to go through El Dorado, where we could fill up our water bottles and get food and the like. The downside is this road has the most terrible shoulder with a rumble strip right in the dead center of it. So that's the downside, and I don't know what the original Transamerica Trail route would have looked like on the shoulder. Hopefully better than this. Kansas, kind of. I'm not sure if I told you yet about Janet's Pies. Janet was our Warm Showers host yesterday, along with her husband, Orwin. When we entered, Janet was baking pies. I asked, what kind of pies are you baking? She said, mulberry rhubarb. We later learned that the mulberry is from mulberry trees in her own yard. And the rhubarb is from the farmer's market in town that she always buys her rhubarb from. And she made 2 full pies. And for dessert last night after dinner, we pie and vanilla ice cream. And these pies were outstanding. Not made from a store-bought pie crust. No, she made the crust by hand. I saw her rolling it out. And her husband Orwin said that every year she puts 2 of her pies up at some charity auction in town. And one year, one single pie sold for $375. One of her pies. So we got to have her pie free of charge last night, and it was memorable. Thank you, Janet. This is surprisingly the second town of Eureka I have ridden through on this trip. The first was in Nevada. Eureka, Kansas sits in Tornado Alley and had 2 severe tornadoes go through town in a 2-year period. The 2016 tornado damaged 143 structures, and the 2018 tornado damaged 175 structures. I spent a few years of my childhood in Kansas, and frequent trips to the basement all summer long were a vivid memory of my time there. Eureka is also home to a no longer in use horse racing grounds. Here's another city park that we're not staying in. Oh, how I wish the temperatures were in the 80s. And then that would make for comfortable nights of camping. But they're in the high 90s. And it's just so uncomfortable and stays hot until so late. So we've been getting hotels because we don't want to have to sleep in the heat. But I'm gonna go check out that pool. I don't think I'm gonna go in the pool. I just wanna see it. I have never seen a themed drinking fountain like this. This looks like you'd see this in a zoo or something. Wow. Here's Paul and I's first Airbnb of the trip. Allison and I did one in Dolores, but this was really the only option in town. There's a hotel over there, that green building, but they're no longer in business. So it's like, I don't know, a big shed you'd buy from Home Depot or Lowe's that they converted into a little 1-bed Airbnb. Yep, second time Paul and I have to share a bed on this trip. We don't make a habit of it, but there's no other option. And we have a bathroom here with a shower on the left. And the shower head, yes, it is too low. It could have been higher. Look how much space they had to make the shower head higher. And a toilet. So there is our little Airbnb. Hey, how about a daily recap from Eureka, Kansas? Today's scenery was a 4. There's been starting to become some interesting geographical features here in eastern Kansas. That's been nice. Today's difficulty was a 3. It is bright outside, and my overall feeling of positivity is at a 9. There was our restaurant for dinner tonight. Sorry I didn't get any images of the inside. There's a picture. This used to be an old gas station.